Mental health is something that we need to talk about more. And so today on Real Time with Rachel, we're going to talk to my daughter, Lily. Okay, Lily, I am happy to be here with you today. Not only am I your mom, but I am also a fan of yours and all that you have done with this amazing podcast. And thank you for having me on as your guest host today. Let's jump into it. The first question I think I want to know is, what made you wake up one morning and say, okay, I'm doing a podcast? Because you came down to the kitchen pretty much and said to me, we're doing a podcast. I'm doing it today. So tell me a little bit about why you started doing this.
In quarantine, I saw a lot of other people struggling with their mental health, and I've struggled with my own mental health since like middle school, but I never really understood it as much just because it's not really talked about in our society. So I made a podcast. And
did you even really know what to do, or did you just kind of muddle through? I mean, I remember the first podcast, the music was really loud, and I was like, I can't really hear her. And then progressively over the last couple times, it's gotten so much better every single time.
It's definitely gotten a lot better. I've done a lot of research on how to approach mental health statements, approach different things that people talk about just so you don't trigger other people. I've ended up putting in trigger warnings, which I got a really good feedback about. And so I kind of change my podcast every episode. There's a lot of different things that come into each episode, especially the person that you talk to. Everybody's really different.
So I want to hit one of the biggest things that you're dealing with right now, which is something that I also struggle with. And I have talked to so many people this summer that say that their children have also been struggling with. And I think that it's anxiety. I think it would be great if you could just talk for just a short bit about, some of the symptoms that you have, because I have a feeling that your audience probably has a lot of the same things and perhaps they don't know what's going on, but because we've all been in COVID and we've all been home a lot, they may not really realize what's going on. So can you talk to us about anxiety?
Yeah, so everyone's anxiety is very different, but for me personally, I usually get pretty nauseous and dizzy and kind of hot and just feel like really overwhelmed and kind of have to take myself out of the situation. And I even did a podcast earlier today, and I talked to someone and she was like, I have the exact same symptoms. And it's really hard to know what you're feeling, because to you it's really real and it's an actual feeling, but to other people, because it's really mental, they can't always see it, so it's really easy to hide.
Right. And I don't want your viewers/listeners to think that you know the difference, because she does not know the difference. A lot of times she will come to me and say, I have a stomach ache, or I'm really nauseous, I think I need to eat something, maybe I didn't eat enough today. And it's really taken a long time for you to recognize that that's anxiety talking. They say that the gut is the second brain. So everything that's happening up here is going right down. I'm not a doctor, but I do play one on TV.
Yeah, but I think it just shows that, like, even having a podcast, I don't have it all figured out. And I think that's really important that people understand that I only do the podcast because I still struggle, and it's also nice for me to know that other people struggle. I have tools and stuff, and that's why I want to share them with everybody else.
And also I think it's important to say, like, when we're talking about mental health, there's this perception that means that you're depressed. And that's not the only thing that happens with mental health.
Yeah, there's a lot of illnesses that go under.
It can be depression, it can be an eating disorder, it can be all kinds of things. For you, I think it's more anxiety-based, having chronic migraines, if I can say that.
Yeah.
That's a problem too, and that creates anxiety too. So everyone has their own set of issues, but I think it's really important for people to know that, you struggle.
It too, yeah.
It's a struggle, right?
Yeah.
Every day. Mm-hmm. Are there any places or things that make you feel better? Like, is there a safe place for you when you're starting to feel really anxious? Because I think it's great for people to know, like, that they can find a place that is it your bedroom? Is it sitting outside for a minute and getting air?
For me, I feel like it's more of a mental thing, like listening to music or journaling. Journaling's really big for me. I always journal how I feel, and that, and I think that really takes my mind off of things. So for me, I feel like it's more of a mental state to get my mind off of it, but for a lot of people, there's a lot of things that are actual physical things.
Well, and for me, because I suffer from anxiety too, and always have since I was, your age, my safe place was calling my mom. So, I would call my mom even like into my 30s. Like if I was having an anxiety attack, I'd give her a buzz, and hearing her voice would really calm me down. And she used to give me this kind of scene that she set up for me when I was like your age of floating on this canoe, and the water was like silk, and I should put my hand out and I could feel how nice the silk feels. And I always think of that still, and I'm 50.
I try to think of like Cabo, just because whenever I've gone there, I always feel really good because I'm just like out of like reality a little bit.
Yeah.
So whenever I like am feeling anxious or just having like a bad moment, which we all have, I try to think of like walking on the beach or just being with like the people who are there. It's really fun.
For you, because I've been helping you a little bit with your anxiety, although, it's good to have a professional. I'm not a professional. Somebody to talk to as well, which you also have that.
Yeah.
I think for you, it's been good to talk about it, because some people, they can really manifest their anxiety if they don't tell people that they're feeling like that, right?
When you don't talk about it to people that you like love, like they won't be able to support you because they don't know that it's going on. The only way to really get the support that you want and that you genuinely do need is to talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of the podcast.
Well, I think we should probably do one of these every so often where we get to just jump in a little series of conversations about you. Yeah. So maybe this was enough for today.
Yeah.
Just wanted to kind of dive in a little bit, and people need to know that, you're not alone. Yeah. And that everyone suffers with something right now, especially after this last year. And so I really want to thank you, not only as the hostess of this show, but also as my daughter. You're so brave. I'm so proud of you always.
Thank you.
And I'm excited for you because you're starting your senior year, and because you've done some work on how you're feeling and you're continuing to do the work, I know you're going to have a great senior year, and you're going to go to college feeling really strong. And I'm excited for what's ahead for you.
Thank you, and good luck to everyone starting school.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.